The following game has been rated E10+, which is short for everyone aged 10 and up by the ESRB for fantasy violence, and online interactions are not rated by the ESRB. So basically fantasy violence. That means anyone under the age of 10 should not be watching this video. You have been warned. Greetings and salutations. I am Outlier, and I bid you welcome to this channel. Joining me today is, of course, my usual co-hosts, Snowball and Wolf. And today we're returning back to Minecraft. So the premise of Minecraft is that you're dropped into an open world sandbox with, well, not really much of anything. You can start your world to spawn with a few starting tools nearby if you wish, but other than that, you're not really given anything. No standard tool set, no general directives, no story, no aim, and you're basically allowed to do, well, pretty much whatever you want, so long as it's within the game's rule set and definitions and world. Now that's exactly the point. You can't actually build anything that the game won't allow, so no independently flying craft, although I have heard that with the right materials, you can actually build moving vehicles. But that's not something I've ever tried to do or really thought about doing. For the most part, it's I basically show up in Minecraft, build a massive structure, get bored with it halfway through, stop playing, come back 2 months later, well, 2 to 3 to 6 months later, and then just forget what I was doing, or because there was a major game-changing update, I start over from scratch. And while there is an end game to Minecraft, I've never actually bothered to attempt it. I've never seen it, so I've read about the thing you have to fight at the very end, but that's really as far as I've gotten. As I said, I much prefer the building aspects. And while I'm well aware that there is a creative mode out there just solely for building, for me, half the fun isn't so much just construction, but also gathering the resources as well, which is a requirement in survival mode, which is the mode that I generally play in. With that said, for anybody who hasn't actually seen the prior episode that I've done of this game, I was in the middle of building a massive city, for lack of a better term, or at the very least the founding section of it that I call Nimbus, City Above the Clouds. And I felt the need, because I've been pretty much doing the exact same construction works over again and over again and over again, from video to video. I figured doing something different would probably be, well, helpful video-wise. So I basically trekked 2 game days north, I believe the direction was. Basically, I'm 2 days away from where I was, and I'm at the edge of a massive desert, because the one resource that I lacked where I was building was sand for glass. Yes, there were beaches there. Because I can never seem to actually build anything small, I generally would most likely need more glass than a single beach could provide. In fact, I, I'm fairly certain I've seen this desert before. I'm fairly certain it's quite massive. Several days journey across massive, as in, I could spend an entire game world in said desert and probably never find the end, and I'm still not entirely certain that's enough sand. Yes, I'm over exaggerating. So I figured rather than play in between episodes, heading back to Nimbus City Above the Clouds with my massive sand haul, I would actually stay in the desert and continue mining sand as well as, well, building an outpost because I'm rather far away from anything that I've built. So any infrastructure or food supplies that I have constructed or any other resource farms that I've built at Nimbus City Above the Clouds is a 2 day hike away. So, in playing a large quantity of games, including construction games and resource management games, I've come to the realization that in order to win, succeed, survive, what have you in these games, you're going to need to do one of two things with resources. You're either going to need to bring along with you everything that you need, or you're going to need to find it locally. And since I'm 2 days away from anything that I've built, I have basically everything that's currently in my character's pockets, as well as anything that's in the nearby vicinity, which, if I gotta be honest, if memory serves, there wasn't much in the pockets to begin with. Certainly not enough to build another major construction. So that's the general plan for this episode, and with nothing else to add, this game was, of course, made by. Thank you again. And that being said, let us begin. All right, so here I am in the desert. And for those who haven't seen last episode, this is where I've been mining. So this whole long, massive uh, ravine in the dirt that I dug out and then promptly fell down into because I lacked spatial awareness is my creation. And basically, to harvest the dirt, I basically mined the stone underneath the sand, put in torches, technically 2 blocks beneath the sand, put in torches, remove the block directly beneath the sand, and watch as the sand falls, turning into drops that I can easily pick up because it hits the torch, and the game says no, sand and torches can't exist in the same spot. So my plan is whenever I need sand to basically do that and basically strip mine the desert this way. Conversely, Nimbus City Above the Clouds, I believe, is, since that's the marker I built, that way, which puts that west and that east, because I believe I traveled north. Sun always sets on that side, and since the sun sets in the west like a normal planet, that makes west, which means this is north. So I mentioned building an outpost, and the outpost generally varies depending upon the environment that I'm in. So since this is the desert, there's no real easy way to build a squirrel hut, or at least not straight down, as the sand does not adhere to the sand adheres to the laws of gravity. It's only that and gravel that actually do. Everything else is able to fly, but since sand can't fly, I have to build not a doorway not up and down, but into the side. So this is what I'm currently working with, which means I'm going to have to expand this, and also means since I can't just fill this in. I mean, I can fill it in willy nilly, but for long-term usage, especially if I'm building a dedicated outpost, I am going to need an actual door. And to get a door, I need wood, and of the many things I brought with me, wood was not one of them. So now that the sun is set, or at least setting currently. Let's just block this up with sand, just simply because that's right there. Let's munch on some sweet berries and then go take a nap. Alright, so now that that's done with, but for some reason I thought that actually went deeper. Very weird. I must be seeing things again. Alright, so new day, new promises, new challenges. All fun. So, like I said, first thing I'm going to need is wood, especially considering, much like not packing wood, I also, for some reason, did not pack a crafting table. One of the many things that I've forgotten. So, right now I have access to basically 3 different types of trees, arguably. The acacia trees, which are... What are you? You're a pillager, aren't you? No, you're actually just a zombie. You're a zombie that can stand out in the sunlight. I don't think you were wearing a helmet. Anyway, as I was saying, basically 3 kinds of trees. The acacia trees, because where I ended up in the desert is right next to a savanna area, as well as borderlining a jungle, which means jungle trees, and since they seem to be everywhere, oak trees as well. You know, I know that I always play this with the natural pack on, but I think they changed the look of the standard zombies. Oh, look, a parrot. Unfortunately, I don't have any seeds. I would say cocoa seeds, but no, that's what kills the parrots, not tame them. So, as I said, I need wood. Basic building block of all things Minecraft. I was going to say, I did remember to bring at least 1 bucket, and yes, I did. In the meantime, I need to harvest the wood. Alright, so I'll let the rest of those leaf rocks disappear on their own. Are you oak wood, or... Yes, you are an oak log. Oh, goody. Mainly because I like having oak, well, all doors made out of oak, just simply because they have a built-in window. A rather large built-in window that I can see out of. So I know if there's a creeper sitting literally right outside. And also, I'm just gonna grab some jungle wood. And because the jungle tree is larger than I can swing my axe into, I also did not pack any shears, so I can't grab any vines. It's gonna plop some dirt down so that way I can get up here. And then just finish hacking down this tree. There we go. Alright, so that should eventually dissipate as well. Okay, so there's actually a wood block still in here. Alright, so where are any Arcadia saplings? I got 1. Also need to remember that this ravine is here, so that way I don't accidentally fall in. Alright, so I have 1 Arcadia sapling and a completely filled inventory. So that means I can replant the sapling here, so that way this tree can regrow. Is there any oak saplings yet? Will there be any oak saplings? I do see 1 up there. There we go. Stick you right there, just so that way you grow. And how about jungle saplings? Nope. In fact, the jungle leaves haven't actually disappeared yet. I don't think it's big enough to harbor any extra wood blocks in there. Plus, jungle trees don't really operate like that, or at the very least not the small 1 block by 1 block ones. The massive 2 by 2 ones, maybe? Oh, I'll come back to it. Oh look, another stick. Alright, so I don't really need the saplings. I just needed the wood. So if we head back to where I stuck the bed, we come in here, and we also expand, because this is definitely not enough room to do anything. Okay, so this is now a 5 by 5 area. So this is small and, well, big enough to get the basics of what I need done. But I need inventory space for that, so I'm just gonna drop this. Okay, fine, we'll do this the hard way. Happy? Sheesh. Okay. Alright, so first things first. Make some Arcadia planks and use that to make a crafting table. Put crafting table down. Make more, let's just turn all the Arcadia wood into planks so that way I have spare space for a chest, because I'm going to need a chest to hold, well, everything. Alright, now that the chest there, I now have free space to, well, store stuff that I don't really need right now. Probably going to need the wood. Probably don't need the cactuses. I have the sweet berries still, so I don't really need the melons. And sticks can go away for right now. So, next thing I do is I need to turn all the remaining oak and jungle wood planks into things. And now I can make a door. So now I have the doors. I can put this here and be somewhat-ish safe. Stick that in there. This goes in here. Let's do these. Next thing I need is a furnace, and that requires cobblestone, which I should have an abundance of. Yep. And stick you right there. Alright, so what I probably should not have done was to turn all of my wooden blocks into planks, because the furnace needs fuel, and the easiest way I found to get fuel is to harvest whole stacks of wood blocks, turn them into charcoal, and use that to fuel the furnace. Another thing that I'm going to need is I'm going to need a whole pile of random jungle sapling just sitting here. Whole pile of wool, but black sheeps are kind of rare, so I'm not going to bother with the killing the black sheep for its wool, because I need to make a spare bed, because the one bed that I brought was in the outpost. Well, now currently sitting in the outpost. That, or I think the jungle sapling, yeah, this is where the jungle tree was, so stick you right there to regrow. So I did eventually get 2 jungle saplings to play with. And since jungle wood seems to be the most prevalent here, it's probably my primary crafting resource right now. And for some reason, the sun is setting yet again. I did not think I was had been out here that long, just dilly-dallying. But now that the outpost is somewhat secure, even if it isn't actually lit at all, I just realized I put all my dirt away. Yeah, I can spend the nighttime basically just carving out more of the outpost and building inside. So I should really focus on more external things during the day. And the sun is setting, as I said. I forgot to put torches into the outpost, so if I wait too long, things will probably spawn inside there if they haven't already. Which is another reason why having a door with a window in it is helpful. There we go. Alright, so more sweet berries. Right, and it's now nighttime, so I did say I would be continuing expanding, so it's a 5x5 area. Yes? 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't look like it because the door's halfway in, so it looks like it's twice as long as it is wide, but yeah, there's that. So, as I said before, another thing that I'm going to need is... I actually don't think I ever actually said that yet. But in addition to fuel, which I haven't, well, still in the process of acquiring, I'm also going to need other things. Most notably, a means of gathering food, which means more resource, well, which means farm. That's what I'm trying to say. And because I'm fairly certain there's sand literally right above me, I can't build up because I like having things in a 3x3. I like having 3 squares up, so that way it doesn't feel like I'm hitting the ceiling every time I walk around. That means I'm going to need to put stairs by the door. Oh look, coal. I can use that to fuel the furnace. Or make torches, because I'm fairly certain a 42 torches are not going to be enough for what I plan on doing in here. And some iron. Small amount, yes, but still iron. Alright, so... what was that? I swear I heard what sounded like an explosion. Weird. Anyway. My last pickaxe broke, unless I want to use the iron one, and I don't really want to use the iron one. But because I'm basically digging beneath the ground, I have access to plenty of resources. I can build a campfire, interesting. So, to maximize the efficiency of a farm, I like having it being a 9x9 block, and since I also like having an edge around it, I'm going to need basically an 11x11 space. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this should be the size that I need. I just need to basically clear this part out. Then place torches here so that way things don't spawn. And then I basically need to cut everything this way. Now, rather than making it an 11x11 space, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it 15x11. Because I want a little bit extra room in addition to the farm for just little extra stuff. I need to carve yet another 11 blocks this way. And I just dig straight this way until I connect to my other tunnel. As usual, just when I think it's getting dark and I've gone a little bit too far, I break into where I need to go, so... Here we go. Everything matches up. Alright, now all I gotta do is clear out the center area, but I do need to be careful because even though it's gonna be a wide open area and that I could probably see across due to the torches, the torchlight only extends about 4 blocks, so if I'm not careful, I won't be paying attention, and then the center area, even though I can see through it, will be considered dark enough for things to spawn in. And the point of the outpost is to provide a safe shelter area for the character and any friends who happen to might wander in to the file. And having the ability to spawn enemies in an area that I wish to keep safe is not being safe, so... I may actually need to lower the floor by another level. Just so that way I have extra space for more torches. Now, I wonder if it's actually daylight out yet. Fortunately, I can't really see through the doorway. And it is daylight out, actually. I just turned daylight out. Okay. So on that note, free up some more inventory space. Where'd my dirt go? There we are. I'm gonna need more dirt. Just as a general rule. Also these saplings as well. Alright, so I'm going to need to figure out where the nearest body of water is, and the nearest body of water is right here. And after that, I'm going to need about... So I'm definitely going to need a full stack of wood. And since this is a jungle environment, the closest, well, most prevalent wood I have is jungle wood, so it's probably going to be a full stack of jungle wood, although I will grab other kinds of wood, just simply because I would need more resources for everything. Oh look, cocoa beans. A random thing of chicken just lying here. Probably shouldn't complain. Free food is free food after all. So I got... Technically I have more oak than I do jungle wood right now. But that'll change as I chop down more jungle trees. Alright, I keep hearing weird sounds. I wonder if that's actually coming from the tree that I just... Huh. So the leaf blocks now make noise when they disappear. I thought they had updated it, but I was unaware that that's what they did. Just gonna help myself to these melons because free food. I should say because it's free food. No accounting for bad grammar even if I am playing a video game. I wonder if that isn't so much the sound of the leaf blocks, but the sound of the vines. Or both. Could be both. Okay, so now I have my full stack of jungle wood blocks. In fact, I actually have a little bit more, which is for the good. Benefit. Yes, that's the word I wanted to use, benefit. Grab a few more, just because I can. In fact, let me actually switch this out. So that way I now know I have 7 extra blocks, because I want the full stack plus 12. I think will be enough for what I need. Alright, so just grab this melon, these cocoa beans, replant these trees. I miss any? I mean, I'm just going off of where the dirt blocks are. That looks good enough. I actually have 2 spare jungle wood saplings. I'll stick one here. No. There. Still have spares. Okay. I know it took an oak tree, but I'm not certain. I do have 1 oak sapling. Let's put you here. Because I'm of a mixed mind when harvesting resources. Part of me wants to cause as little ecological damage as possible. Another part of me just doesn't care and will basically put the whole of the land to the torch if it satisfied my design. So I generally adhere to a little bit of both model, for lack of a better term. So basically, I'll cause untold ecological damage and wreak untold ecological havoc in a small selected area, and the rest of the world I'll try to leave as untouched as possible. That's right. So now for my idea. So the idea calls for turning this entire stack of jungle logs into charcoal, and to do that, I need, well, more charcoal, or more fuel, for lack of a better term. So I'm going to take these 8 extra jungle wood logs and turn them into charcoal using more jungle wood logs. But unlike charcoal, as far as memory serves, jungle logs have well, logs in general have a actually, you know what? It's not logs that I should be using. It should be planks. As I was saying, planks have, and I think even logs as well, have a 2 to 2.5 to 1 ratio, where so they'll actually cook 2.5 things per log. Even though that doesn't appear to be the case, it looks more like 1.5-ish. So it cooked one log, and about halfway before making another one. Yeah, so I think they changed it to 1.5 planks. We'll turn one thing into something else. Alright, and the sun is now setting, so back to the internal workings. Alright, well, torches have a maximum brightening range of 4 squares. So up to 4 squares, that's how bright how far away the torch needs to be before it stops producing light. Alright, so this area that I hollowed out should be the maximum distance that torches can, well, light up, and anything where I haven't mined yet would be dark enough that a hostile mob can spawn in. And it's not a case where they go 4 squares and suddenly it's darkness. Each torch provides, I believe, what's known as 4 units of light, and every square out from said torch is 1 less light unit. So, it's right here it's like about 4 units, and then 3, then 2, then 1, and then it would be 0 were it not for these torches right here. And this area is actually thin enough. What I could probably do is get away with just carving out these sides. Oh, almost forgot to mention, and it doesn't matter what the light level is as far as I know. Most angry mobs require absolutely no light in order to spawn. So, unless I'm really deep down where slime blobs can start spawning regardless of light level, I should be fine with any sort of light level in this area. But as I was saying, it should be, this area looks to be thin enough, it's a weird space, where I can get away with carving this down to this small little piece, carve out this section, put that there. In fact, I'm not one for art, but let's just make it symmetrical. That's the wrong thing that I wanted to grab. And then, as I said, torches produce up to like 4 squares out. If I put torches here, that should theoretically be enough to cover everything. Alright, and I did say I wanted to go 1 extra square down, so the door goes here. You can jump up to here, yeah, okay, good. Carve this a little bit further down. So 4 squares down is the light limit vertically as well as horizontally of the torches. So I may have an issue with like right here, but again, that's what the center torches are for. Of course, carving 1 extra layer down allows me to discover even more coal, so there's a benefit there for that. Yeah, I even found more iron. Goody. Alright. So I've now cleared out this entire area. So I can now build the farm plot that I want. And from what I've read, a farm plot requires, much like real life, water for irrigation purposes. And one block of water, well, and all the books that I've seen with farms have basically rows of dirt with rows of water. But that's not exactly the most efficient method. So, like, for instance, it'll be like 2 blocks in. You know, just imagine the area that I'm carving out right here would be, you know, a row of water, and then a couple more blocks, and then another row, and so forth and so on. I mean, that's one way of doing things, but the water can irrigate up to basically 5 blocks in any direction. Essentially, 1 block of water in the center of a 9x9 area will fully irrigate the entire 9x9 area, which is why I wanted this area basically 11 by 15. Essentially 11 by 11, but I wanted extra area, so let me just carve out a 9 by 9 area. And while I do need the dirt for the farm, I'm removing the dirt right now, so that way I have an easier time measuring. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I mean, if I had made this 11 by 11, I would know I could just simply go all the way to the edge and be fine, but I didn't, so I have to count, at least in one direction. And I just realized I am completely out of stone pickaxes yet again. The plus side, the charcoal's done, so I can take the charcoal, stick it into fuel for here, and then stick in the jungle logs. So that way, that 8 charcoal turns 64 jungle logs into 64 more charcoal. Kind of hoping that there'd be more iron directly underneath those iron blocks, but I guess there aren't. I say that as I uncover even more iron. Alright, so this will be the plot for the field, and now that that's carved out, I'm actually going to remove the dirt around the edges and replace it with a material that isn't dirt. Just so that way, I mean, it's more for aesthetic and my personal reasons, just simply because I can. But it helps to define the border of the field. So I go like that. Actually, let me remove this iron as well, and I don't really much care directly underneath here, so I'll just refill that with dirt. And then I just refill the area with dirt. And rather than going across like a typewriter and then down and down and down, I'm going to go around because I need to keep the center of the field open. And for anybody who can easily do math in their head, 9 by 9 is 81, and each stack is only 64. So I'm definitely going to need more than 1 stack of dirt for this filling process. Alright, so it's... I say 5, I meant 4. Yeah, so the water should be able to irrigate up to 4 blocks across in any direction, including diagonally. So if I stick 1 block of water here, it should irrigate all this whole area. And speaking of water, is it still nighttime? No, it's not. Alright, so I've been hearing zombies, so... I mean, everything looks fine. I mean, I should take care of this area first, but do I have any spare jungle? I do have spare jungle planks. So I'm going to need to make yet another chest, because I'm going to need to lower this area as well. And since this chest is completely filled with stuff, my choices are to either break the chest and have everything fall down, or place a second chest and basically move everything from one chest to the other before removing the old chest. I want to keep that block there until I can build stairs. I mean, I could build... Oh, so that's what the underside of a bed looks like. Interesting. I was going to say, I could cook some cobblestone into stone brick and... Well, stone, I should say. And then turn that into stone brick. Or I can just use the cobblestone directly. I mean, it's really either or, as far as I'm concerned. But for right now, let's just empty out... Huh. They also changed the look of the iron. Used to be it would be an iron block. Instead, now it's raw iron. It's like random small things that they did. Okay. Alright, now that the chest is empty, I can remove the chest. And stick the old chest into the new chest. As well as... Alright, and then I'm going to move the crafting table down here as well. I'll wait until the furnace is done before moving it, just so that way... I'm going to say, it doesn't look like it's averaging out, but it's at 39 charcoal. It's got 2 left. It's making 24 more. So, I'll see if it actually is still an 8 thing per. In the meantime, bed goes here. Alright, so as I was saying, I could use stone brick to make things, but the furnace is currently busy. And, I mean, it's almost nighttime. What I'm going to do is point directly up and then dig... Oh, crud. Yeah, I was afraid of that. I had a feeling sand was directly above me. So what I'm going to do is put that there. Dig this up. And go find where that hole is. Oh, right here. Do I have... No, I do not have actually any sandstone left. But the sun is setting, so I gotta go back inside. Alright, now one other thing that I need to build is a, well, basically a water repository. So I need a 2x2 area. I mean, I could technically do by 1x3. I just need a, but I prefer 2x2. What I actually need is just simply a space. I should not have done that. That's essentially big enough so that way the water can respawn. And water can produce another water block so long as there is spare space between 2 water blocks. So if I were to say dig it out this way, I could produce water. If I put a water block here and water block here, it would fill here, but not fill this side. So I like having it 2x2 instead of 3x1, because 3x1 you always have to take the center block, whereas in a 2x2 area, it doesn't really matter which block you take. So just fill this in. Just grab all of this. And then grab the coal as well. Alright, so I only expected like 5 or 6 things of coal. Vein is bigger than I thought it would be. Shouldn't complain about that. I don't like having empty spaces cleaning the void, so... Gotta make certain I fill everywhere. I said gotta make certain I fill everywhere. So just got to... break you guys real quick. I need to go this way. So I designed this part this way and put a dirt block there because this is supposed to be what I've read about is called a water scythe. So basically, I have this block of water here irrigating the field. I have something on top of it, usually a half slab block. So that way the water just doesn't pour down into the irrigation water block. And then if I had the resources or remember to bring one with me, a piston, I'd have a piston here with a lever, and I'd flick the lever, piston retracts, water comes pouring down, hits the slab, and then spreads out over the field, basically harvesting everything that's in the field that I want. And usually, if I remember and have space, which I probably should have done, I would put slabs all the way around the field, so that way A, I can walk over it, and B, anything that gets harvested on the field doesn't wash clean into, like, say, the drinking water. Because water spreads out 8 squares, and it's every direction that it goes down in, so it would spread out as far as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It would actually spread out as far as here, because it would hit the slab and it registered 1 block higher, so it would spread out and then down, and then just keep streaming that way. So it might miss the drinking water, it might hit the drinking water. It's kind of an iffy situation. But right now I only have 1 block of water, which is what the drinking water is so important for. Not so much for actual drinking, but so that way I have a means of just generating more water. So let's actually go to bed, because next step requires I actually venture outside. Next several steps, actually. Also resets the spawn point to here. I see you there. I guess zombies don't burn in the daylight anymore. Otherwise, desert zombies are special. Alright, so where's the... here we are. So this is the top of where the water is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to break my shovel, digging out this sand. Just for continuity purposes, at least I think that's the word I want to use. I'll fill this area with sandstone, so that way this sand block just isn't floating anywhere else, right above the water. And refill this with sand, so it looks like it was never here. I was never here. Alright, so now I need another block of water. And I only brought 1 bucket, so I have to do this 1 bucket at a time. Gotta remember to avoid the ravine. And so if I grab this bucket of water, the water surrounding it auto refills. So I can pull however much water I want out of there,
for an indefinite period of time, so long as there's water next to the water block that I pull. And while I could technically use that as my infinite water supply, it is outside, so... Oh, look, a rabbit. Hello, little bunny. You're in my way. As I was saying, it's outside, so if I need water, say, in the middle of the night, I couldn't exactly just go out and grab it. So if I put the water here, it fills that, so I can just take one and it auto-refills. I can put this there for that water block, and then I can grab another block of water to put up here. And that causes this to flow down. Now, as I said, in theory, it should actually run into the slab that I put on top and then flow out. It's not doing that because there's no slab. And since water is technically lower in the ground than the dirt, it just flows into the water block that's down there. So now, as I said, I could be making everything out of stone bricks, but one thing about the outpost is that it's more of a, what's the word I want to use? Less developed seeming environment. So rather than building out of stone brick or any fancy materials, it's basically, I have tempted to build it out of cobblestone and just any whatever surrounding materials there are. In fact, this is the desert. For thematic purposes, I should actually probably be using stone slabs. So, and by stone slabs, I mean sandstone slabs. Can't talk anymore. Alright, so just make all of you. And then to cover that, since I can't technically put it directly above the water, I stick one there, remove this one, and we're good. So now, if I were to remove the water block, that's the wrong one, the dirt block, I should say, it hits the water and flows out this way. And it actually just misses the drinking water. Of course, now the problem is trying to get back here to safely put the dirt block back, which is generally why I prefer to use a piston. But again, I didn't bring one with me. And now, what I can do is put stone slabs around this. Technically, I only need to cut off the border here because it's just 1 by 1, but not 1 by 1. It's the only extra access point. But you know, I like being what's the word I want to use? Symmetrical? Not the word I want to use, but I can't think of what I actually want to do. But with the slabs in place, the water flows out to here. So anything that I grow in here, that's a stone slab. Sandstone slab. As I was saying, anything that I grow in here wouldn't flow past the edges of the field. And technically, I don't need these, but water would just flow out to here. But I like this design the most, so this is what I'm going to be working with. In the meantime, stick the charcoal back in here to fully fuel the furnace. And so now all I need to do is till the ground. So where is... I'm going to need this, and I think I actually only need 2 cobblestone. So for that, I'm going to need a stone hoe, which I didn't bring with me, so I have to make one. So if you just use a stone hoe until the soil, unirrigated soil looks like that. Conversely, the only way to get rid of tilled soil, if you don't want tilled soil there, is to basically remove the block and place it back, or actually put a block on top of the tilled soil. Alright, so as I said, this is an unirrigated block. This is what an irrigated block looks with the natural texture pack. So basically all I need to do now is just simply wait for the water block to fully irrigate this field, and then it should be ready for, well, whatever I feel like planting. So I could put sweet berries, Yeah, sweet berries. I keep confusing them with snowberries from Skyrim. But anyway, I could put the sweet berries down, and I could use this area to farm them. But if the farm what farming I've done at Nimbus City Above the Clouds has taught me anything is that the sweet berries can't be mass produced, at least not in confined space, because they damage you as you walk through them, and you walk through them slowly. So if I'm building a farm with sweet berries, I have to take special consideration in them. Well, with them. I do also have melons, which I can turn into seeds and plant here, but melons are also special in the fact that I would, in order to plant melons, they basically need 2 spaces. So the melon plant would go here, and then as it grows, a melon would plop out here. But in order to make certain a melon goes where I want it to go, I generally put in fencing and also increase the water. So it would basically be melon, plant, water, plant, melon. Or, water here and then more melons and then water. And I work it out so that way in this 9x9 field I can get several rows of melons. But basically, if I'm growing melons, I would have to redesign this. Same with sugar. Because sugar needs to be planted directly next to a water block. I would basically need to expand the water. Plus, I wouldn't need the water scythe for the sugar or melons. So this field, as it is generally good for beetroots and standard grain and carrots and potatoes. None of which I brought with me. So, gonna need to go looking for those. Oh look, it's a tiny little baby llama. Kind of looks like a dog from far away. But I have all this grass right here, which I can just basically break apart, looking for seeds. There's a seed right there. There's more seeds. Even more seeds. Alright, this is the ravine I mentioned I should never try to fall down into. But let's go looking to harvest seeds right next to it, because that makes perfect sense. Oh look, another seed I forgot. Right, and the sun is now setting yet again, because the sun does that. So let's head back to where I need to go. Easy to find because line of torches. Alright, so field hasn't been fully irrigated yet, but I don't really need the entire field just now. So all that netted me 18 wheat seeds, and I can plant the wheat seeds and they would grow into wheat, and I harvest that for actual wheat and more seeds. More than just 18 seeds. So I technically only needed 1 seed, but the more seeds I start with, the faster this goes. And I just basically plant the seeds. Now this square right here isn't irrigated yet, but that'll eventually change. And I don't have any bone meal to instantly cause the wheat seeds to sprout, so I have to wait for them to fully grow. And there's no short way with that other than bone meal. But for those people who have done the math, you would know that a 9x9 area is 81 blocks, minus 1 for the water, which means that it's 80 blocks of farmland that I have to use. And stuff stacks up to 64, so in order to fully cover the field, I would need 80 wheat seeds. So that's 1 1/4 blocks stacks of wheat seeds. Yeah, 1 1/4 stacks of wheat seeds. Just doing the math in my head. And in addition to water and tilled dirt and all that fun stuff, plants also need light to grow, which, since I'm underground, torches anyway. So there's that. And if I didn't have torches, they would need to rely on the sun, which is currently setting, which means they would stop growing. So generally good idea is to have torches. As you can see, some of the crops have actually started growing a bit more. So it will take time for this entire thing to grow. And once that's fully grown, I can harvest them all for wheat and seeds, plant the seeds, which would hopefully give me more than 18 seeds to play with. So I should eventually cover more of the field with the next crop cycle. And then after that, cover more of the field with the next crop cycle. And after that, cover more of the field with the next crop cycle. And hopefully by that time, I'll have enough seeds to cover the entire field. And then once I have the entire field growing of 80 units of wheat, I can make a ridiculously large pile of bread. And once I have a ridiculously large pile of bread, I should be good with food issues. Now, the one problem is I don't plan on staying at this outpost permanently. I do plan on heading back to Nimbus, city above the clouds, which doesn't have this kind of farm, which means once I go back, I'm going to have to rebuild it. Now, as far as I know, the game doesn't instantly take things away as I walk too far from them. It's just that the plants would stop growing. So if I head back to Nimbus City above the clouds right now, this field would stay this way until I come back here. So what I could do is just hang out in the outpost harvesting sand until I can get enough wheat seeds to actually fill the field. And once that's fully grown, I'll be good to go and then just up and leave. Or, I can just take some, actually I think I have spare wheat seeds back at New Quarry. But I could basically leave this as it is, and nothing will change. Now, for this area, one thing I could do is build sandstone stairs, and remove you. Put you down there for aesthetic purposes. Put you there. Put you there. Put you there. That's upside down. Put you there. Put you there. Make another thing of sandstone stairs. Put you there. Put you there. Which means I can now basically climb out this way. And technically, what I probably could have done was go this route. Oop, wrong one. So yeah, now all I gotta do is just basically walk up and I have access to the area, and then I have to move the bed again. In fact, let me just carve out this entire wall. Of course, I say that, and the water's right there. So you know what? Let's put the water here. So again, all I need to do is just move it one bucket at a time, and infinite water supply. Now, I can't really remove this water just by paling it out because it'll keep regrowing, but so I'm going to have to do is just refill that with some other material displacing the water. Just carve this out thusly. I can, let's see, where do I want the bed? So I put the bed right here, be right next to the water supply. Now let's actually just put the furnace right here. Then the chest can go right here. Then I just basically, once again, Move everything out of said chest and move it to the second one, which is the advantage for having multiple chests. And then I can just remove this chest right here and stick the spare ones back in the, if you're keeping track, now original chest. So all of that fun stuff. Just doing some reorganization. And I have 3 torches left, so let me grab my sticks and some coal. And now I have more than 3 torches left. So that's useful, and I should probably also replace all of my broken tools as well. 3 axes, 3 shovels, and a pickaxe. There we go. Now inventory is reorganized. Now, one thing that, yeah, see the wheat's practically growing. It doesn't always grow equally, so I'll have like one square like right here that's practically almost fully grown, whereas the one next to it hasn't even grown once. And eventually it should all get to fully grown. I mean, I'm fairly certain there's enough light to do that. But one thing that I don't normally do here that I technically can is where are my jungle blocks? I need the actual wood. Here we are. Not the plank or anything else. So one thing that I could do, I'll put it here, is I put, not you like that, although it'll probably work just the same. Stick you there, stick you there, stick you there. And what I can do with this that I can only use jungle wood for is plant cocoa beans. Just stick them all around here. If I had more, I could put them here, and if it was more freestanding, I could actually surround them with it. So let me actually do that. I'm making it freestanding, I might as well put it there. Just so that way I can step up here. I could also make it go straight to the ceiling, but I think it would interfere with that torch, so let's not do that. Anyway, then put cocoa beans here. Then they'll should, in theory, fully grow, and harvest them for even more cocoa beans, and then put more cocoa beans on these two sides. And in addition to the wheat, I can get practically an infinite number of cocoa beans, which means in addition to bread, I can also make cookies. I think that's still the recipe. Right, don't have the ingredients, so I can't actually make it. Of course, I don't actually know which category it would be under. Not here. Oh, here we are. Yeah, so I need 2 wheat and 1 thing of cocoa to make 8 cookies. Whereas conversely, I need 3 things of wheat to make a bread, 1 unit of bread, 3 things of wheat, 2 things of sugar, an egg, and 3 things of milk to make a cake, a pumpkin, and egg, and sugar to make pumpkin pie, a whole bunch of ingredients to make rabbit stew. It looks like 6 beetroots in a bowl to make beetroot soup, 1 of each kind of mushroom to make mushroom stew. That's another thing I could grow in here. Because it's away from the sun, I'm fairly certain torches don't count, I could technically grow mushrooms down here, just plant them wherever, and they should eventually just spawn extra ones, and I could just harvest the extra ones. But in a nutshell, this is the basics of an outpost. It's not designed to be a long-term permanent living space, but you know, if you're out and about away from your main home and you just want somewhere to hang out and have the basics that you would need, which is just basically crafting, a furnace, storage, and a way to get food, as well as a bed. This is a rather simple but still overly complex means of doing so. And, it works for me. This isn't my standard outpost model. Usually I just bring along a couple stacks of oak saplings, plant them around to build a wall, wait until they grow, make a basically a wooden wall out of oak trees, and have, well, at the time, a jungle tree, a 2x2 jungle tree, or a dark oak tree to build a house on top of a tree surrounded by a wall of oak trees. And that's the standard outpost, but that takes a couple hours real time to actually build, mostly because I have to wait for the oak saplings to grow into trees. But for now, I now have an outpost, so every time I need more piles of sand in massive quantity, I can hike 2 days from Nimbus City above the clouds to here, and I don't have to worry about building a squirrel hut and then running all the way back instantaneously. I have a means of, long-term survival in this area. So it's not pretty, but it's not meant to be pretty. It's meant to work, and that I've found usually does. So, a simple build, but I like it. I use it. It works. And so now all I need to do is just gather up enough sand to completely fill my pockets, which I probably already have, at least a fair number of sand. I mean, it's 5 full stacks. That should get me at least started. But, there's plenty of other stuff that I can grab. Is this 8? Yeah, that's actually 8 things of raw iron. I could smelt that into actual iron and then build things with it. Alright, so as I was saying, now all I need to do is just gather enough sand to fill my pockets to take back to Nimbus City above the clouds, so that way I can build things out of glass. Put windows into new quarry. Actually, right now that's pretty much all I really needed the sand for. But as I said, this is a 2-day hike from where I'm building Nimbus City above the clouds, so I can't just simply pop out here, grab a small handful of stuff, and just immediately pop back. I have to do a literal hike from one place to here and then back again. So, this is what's needed. And hopefully next episode, in between episodes, if I remember, I'll hopefully gather what I need and be back at Nimbus City above the clouds to continue construction. But that is going to be an issue for another day, because I'm going to call it here.
Everybody stay safe from the plague, and have a good day.